I felt it was really important that John Travolta's character, Chili Palmer, got to visit a movie set. And we actually shot a scene, a wonderful scene, and probably the funniest scene in the entire movie, with Ben Stiller playing a recent UCLA graduate, directing Hackman's, sexy, violent, Roger Corman-like movie. It was very funny. Hackman was great. Stiller was fantastic.
All these camera moves and weird angles are going to distance us from the emotion of the scene.
Emotion? Girl just got stabbed in the ear with an ice pick.
Chili got to see, a girl with an axe in her head walking around, and it was a great scene.
Look, kid, if you remember one thing about your time working with Harry Zim, let it be the 3 key words to filmmaking.
Okay, and what would those words be?
Pick and save.
What?
You heard me. Pick and save.
Ben's incredibly funny, and the great thing about Ben is I would say to him, here's what you're supposed to say something funnier. And he would, and we'd do 8 takes, and each version would be different and equally funny. Being a director himself, I could ask him to do things that you could never ask another actor to do, because they'd say, no, I need so-and-so there, and I can't. But Ben, knowing the situation I was in, was just wonderful and would do whatever I wanted. Yeah, but whose point of view?
What do you mean, whose point of view? Audience's point of view.
There's a spaceship hanging, and we're in Griffith Park, and that's the valley over there. It's not...
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
In the scene, I'm directing. I'm up on the crane, which is like a big, massive, phallic symbol of power. That anytime you see a director on a crane, there's no way for him not to look like a total, asshole, really.
Archie, I want a really swift swish down, okay? Not like last time. Last time was a bumpy, swooping thing. It's a swift swish, okay, Arch? Come on, let's get it this time and just try to feel it, okay?
I'm on the crane trying to direct the shot, and then Gene Hackman's character, Harry, comes in and he starts telling me that I'm just kind of going off on an ego trip with this crane shot.
Hey, Harry.
Hi, Chili. How are you? You're 50 feet up in the air.
Harry, we're gonna boom down real fast and get a subjective POV, okay? So it's okay. All right.
Well, whose point of view?
Whose POV? It's the audience's POV, okay?
Boobala, come on down here. I want to talk to you, okay? Come on.
I didn't even have to look at the script or anything. They said, there's a scene with Gene Hackman. Yes, okay. Because, I grew up on the Poseidon Adventure, okay? He was my god from the Poseidon Adventure on out.
So leave the camera down here on the ground and shoot the fucking scene so we can see what's going on. Or I'll get somebody over 16 to shoot it for you.
But the placement of the scene didn't work. It came after 4 other scenes, like the scenes of Chili watching Touch of Evil, and there were wonderful atmospheric scenes that didn't move the story forward. And when an audience sits too long without getting new story information, they start to realize that their butt hurts, they're thirsty, they need to go to the bathroom, they need more popcorn. And I took the scene out, and I remember MGM executive saying, it's the best scene in the movie, you've got to put it back in. And I said, all right, watch this. And I put it back in, and the next recruited audience screening we had, as soon as that scene was over, Mike Marcus, the head of MGM, turned to me and said, you're right, it's a wonderful scene, but we got to get rid of it. So we're going to include it as a separate scene on our DVD.
Okay, I want to rehearse again, this time with full blood and the mutant, okay? Larry, mutant Larry, more pus from your tentacles, really sell the tentacles, okay? And Jorge, special effects. Where's Jorge from special effects? Okay, excuse me, Scotty, is Mike directing interfering with your conversation? Why is nobody listening to me, Scotty? Is this my set? Can people please try to concentrate and work with what we're doing here, okay? Can I just get some support?
Hey! How's anyone going to see anything from way up there?
Hey, Harry. How you doing?
Hi, Chili. Hi. You're 50 feet up in the air.
Harry, we're gonna boom down real fast and get a subjective POV, okay?
So listen, Harry, I talked to Karen, and she said that she'd like to help you out.
Whose point of view?
What do you mean, whose point of view? It's the audience's point of view.
Boobala, come on down here. I want to talk to you, okay? So Karen's gonna talk to Martin?
Well, she says she was going to think about talking to Mom, but I need to get a copy of the script. You got the keys to the office?
Yeah. It's a red one. Take it off the ring.
All right, thanks. Good set.
Okay, we're gonna do another mutant rehearsal. This time I want to blow the front squib on Larry's behind, okay?
Hi.
How you doing?
Is your name Vicky Vespa?
Excuse me?
I asked you, is your name Vicky Vespa?
No.
Then get the fuck out of my chair.
Vicky Vespa, I see.
I'm gonna need a real good swoop on this one, Archie. Not the swishy thing we had last time. I want to swoop with balls.
I thought I told you to come down here. All these camera moves and weird angles are gonna distance us from the emotion of the scene.
Emotion? Girl just got stabbed in the ear with an ice pick.
Well, she's scared. Fear is an emotion. Look, kid, if you remember one thing about your time working with Harry Zim, let it be the 3 key words to filmmaking.
Okay, and what would those words be?
Pick and save.
What?
You heard me. Pick and save. Let me tell you a little story. Happened to me years ago when I was so broke, I had to go over to the Pick and Save on Vine Street to buy myself a lousy candy bar for dinner. I'm standing in line waiting to pay my 2 bits. Now over here, this lady, let's call her Mildred. She's telling the cashier about a movie. So Mildred says, I just saw the new Streisand picture. God, I loved it at the end when she brushed Robert Redford's hair off his forehead and the way they gave each other this look that says they still loved each other. That look was so romantic.
Right, okay. That's great. But is there a point to this?
What she did not say was, I love the way the director moved the fucking camera around to make me seasick. So leave the camera down here on the ground and shoot the fucking scene so we can see what's going on. Or get somebody over 16 to shoot it for you. Your name Harry Zim?
I know. Get the fuck out of your chair, right?